Hello, and thank you for giving us another opportunity to spend some time with you on Stairway to Health, brought to you by Health Experts Canada. We've got some great ideas, new information, and hopefully a few laughs for you today. Who knows? If you're not careful, you may learn something.
Welcome, everybody, to the Stairway to Health podcast. I'm your host for today, Frank Pirri, and today I'd like to welcome our guest, Laura Molinaro. Laura, we first met when you were still a student. You were in school working towards your degrees and certifications in your fields of study. And Laura became a client of ours and has since become a very good, close friend of ours, her and her family. So, Laura, tell us a little bit more about you, what the listeners need to know about you, the person, and Laura, the busy healthpreneur. Like what I did there? You are an entrepreneur, definitely.
I
But
am.
I like that term, healthpreneur, because we are both sharing space inside of the health and wellness industry, and we have a lot in common, I should say.
Right. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. First and foremost, I am a wife, mother of twin girls who will be 9 next month. I am daughter, sister, cousin, aunt, all of that.
You have a big family.
I do have a very big family, Italian heritage, as you know, and very, very big family. We grew up all together, numerous cousins. So family is incredibly important to me. Probably the top on my core value list. Yeah, I have a educational background in architectural technology. That is what I went to college for. Graduated from that with a postgrad in facility planning.
Right on. Now, you transitioned out of I know you have a background in the architectural technology. I knew you when you were working for those construction companies.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also went on and got your certification in wedding planning.
I did. I've always had a knack for it. I consider myself very creative. I get that from my dad. Kind of like he's the jack of all trades, I'm the Jane of all trades. Something that I love to do. So I decided to get my certification in international event and wedding planning. And then personal life got really busy. So that kind of got put on the back burner a little bit. And then I would say the end of 2019, another thing that I really enjoyed, and I've always enjoyed, is makeup.
I was just going to say, I noticed a lot back in the day. I noticed a lot of your social media posting when you were delving into the whole world of cosmetics and makeup, right, and makeup artistry. It was pretty phenomenal. And I know you had a few clients back then. You really seemed to take to it.
It just kind of came natural to me. I mean, I've been using makeup for a very long time. It's always been there. Something that I really enjoyed. I love just practicing on myself and family members and, doing crazy stuff.
Nice.
It's something that I really enjoyed doing. So the end of the end of 2019 is when I decided. I was putting it off because of financial reasons. And my husband just said, you know what, just do it. Just do it. Who cares? Just do it. So I did it. Got my certification in January of 2020.
And then the world sort of turned.
I was just going to say, the world kind of flipped.
Yeah.
No weddings were taking place, no parties, no graduations, no wedding showers, bridal shower, nothing.
Yeah, it sort of stopped, right? The whole world
it stopped,
and
it just stopped.
It was fascinating, but then something pretty spectacular happened to you.
It did. I was looking at everyday products that we use. I was looking at our food. I was looking at our water. I was looking at our clothes. I started looking at all the different systems, the health system. And the 6 months that I was at home is when I found that nothing, absolutely nothing, is as it seems.
And yeah, now it's interesting because because Stairway to Health is all about health and well-being and helping to simplify, what it means to be healthy.
Mhm.
I think it's interesting when all of us are forced to pause and take a deep, close look at ourselves, our families, and of course, at the time you're mentioning, health was top of mind.
Right.
So it was almost like everything we did, everything we read, everything we watched, everything we learned and talked about surrounded health, right?
Exactly.
Our health and our
Yes,
wellness and our well-being. And
absolutely.
and so I'm assuming that that's where sort of the switch was made
It
uh,
was.
to this whole notion that maybe things aren't as healthy as they seem.
Right. They're not. How I stay healthy, first and foremost, if my mind is not healthy, none of me is healthy.
Good point.
That is I cannot wake up in the morning and go, mind you, I don't go to the gym. I don't like the gym. I can't go to the gym. That's just me. But I cannot wake up in the morning and work out or get on my bike or go for a run if I'm mentally not there.
That's fair. I think mindset is key to anyone trying to reach levels of optimal health.
Yeah. So I start my day with prayer. I start my day with affirmations. I start my day with meditation. I'm the sage and crystal girl. I'm sitting in front of it right now. I sit and I have this beautiful room that the sun shines the majority of the day. And I sit and I pause and I meditate.
I like that.
And yeah, so that's the first thing that I do to start my day. That keeps me healthy. Then from there, not only on my body, but what I put in my body. So the food that I eat, I love to eat. I'm Italian. I cannot eat, right?
Yeah,
You
I
know
get
that.
it. I get
You
it.
know it. Which is that's my downfall because it's very, very, very hard nowadays to find quick and easy snacks
That are healthy.
that are healthy. Exactly. That are
It's easy to
healthy.
find snacks. It's not
It's
so
very
easy to
easy.
find
Yeah.
the healthy
I
ones.
mean, you go to the grocery store and 95% of the store is shelves full of boxes, right?
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
very easy to find snacks, but something that is healthy is it's not easy. And everywhere I turn, it's like the last 3 years, it's everywhere I turn is, oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Everything. If you look at and that is why I was like, okay, I'm not a knack for, I can't start growing my own food and all that. I don't have the land and the space and the time to do that. I decided, why not go into healthy and clean skincare?
Okay, so this is exactly what I was hoping we would lead into was tell us a little bit about your business and how it got started. So I think we've got a little bit of background, right,
Right.
as to what sort of transitioned you into thinking more about health, wellness, your family care and your
Yep.
personal care. And I'm inspired by some of the things that you've said here today. I think our listeners are going to get a lot out of it. But tell us that switch, right? You went from being a businesswoman and executive to an entrepreneur inside of event planning and makeup artistry, and all of a sudden you became a healthpreneur.
Exactly. Yes, it was an unexpected switch. I never knew I was going to get here. Like I said, it started. I was literally at my desk at work at my full-time job at the time when it was like that light bulb. That aha moment.
Yeah.
I had that aha moment sitting at my desk on a construction site. Looking at my computer, looking around, looking at the people that I worked with, looking at the work that I was doing, looking at myself. And I was like, this is not it. This is not for me.
It's funny you
So
say that. Yeah, it
yeah,
is. I recently posted something that said clarity comes when you least expect it.
exactly. I saw that. Yep. Yeah, it does. It really does. So that is when I started brainstorming. I started thinking, what can I do? I wanted to do something that would help not only myself and my family, that would help everyone in terms of health, in terms of clean products that they can use. So I started with soap.
Yep.
And I started researching how to do it. I'm all self-taught. I didn't go to any schools. I don't have any fancy letters behind my name. I'm not any, certified in any, I'm not a nutritionist or a herbologist or a botanist or any of that. I researched and researched countless hours of clean skincare and how to actually make soap. And I do that. I found my wholesalers and my where I can get all my products, very clean products. The main thing that I sell for my soap is that it is sulfate free. It is free of SLES and SLS. So SLS is sodium lauryl sulfate. SLES is sodium laureth sulfate. Now,
And these are bad.
they're extremely bad. Extremely bad. If you go to big box stores and you pick up a box of soap and you read the ingredients, first of all, you will not be able to pronounce 75% of them. Secondly, you will almost 99.9% of the time find these ingredients in those products. Whether it's a bar of soap, whether it's body wash, shampoo, any product that you use topically that you buy in a big box store will have these products in it, will have these ingredients in it. These ingredients, sulfates, so just to let you know that SLES is, it's a process. SLS goes through a process called ethoxylation, which is ethylene oxide is introduced to SLS to produce SLES. Now, if anyone knows about ethylene oxide, it is one of the most, if not the most, carcinogenic materials out there.
Yeah.
Highly cancerous. Okay, yes, it's like, oh, but it's just a little bit in there, and I use a little bit every day. But if you use soap every day from a big box store, you're getting a lot.
Well,
not just a little.
Yeah, I was just going to say now before we continue, because I've got a good thought on that or a comment on that. Give everybody the name of your company that you started.
So the name of my company is Undine Beauty.
Undine Beauty.
Undine.
Okay.
UNDINE.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yep.
So I have this conversation quite a bit. Actually, Marilyn, my partner, and myself, we have these conversations with people quite often about these carcinogenic compounds. And a lot of our listeners out there, if they aren't, I would say many of them will be aware of the fact that much of our beauty and skincare products in the marketplace do contain, I don't know if they've been coined the dirty dozen, or there's some nasties in a lot of the stuff out there. And people know that they're known as carcinogenics or carcinogens. The question often from the general public is, how is that possible? These products have been authorized, they've been tested, they've been allowed to market. Our government or our corporations wouldn't do that to us. And here's the interesting point on that, which I found out. When a submission is made on ingredients to, let's say, the FDA or Health Canada or any other governing body with respect to human health, they look at each of the ingredients individually that are in a product, and they look at the amount of the ingredient in each of these products.
Right.
And one of the things they do is they correlate how much of that ingredient is in there, and at that amount, is it actually dangerous or harmful? And they say, no, it's not. It's low enough on the percentage scale or whatever. And so it's released. They sign off on the ingredient list or on the recipe, if you will, and
Right.
out to market it goes. But I think you said something very important, and that is people don't realize the compounding effect of having these ingredients on your skin
Every day.
once a day, twice a day, multiple times per day, every day, every week, every month, every year, so on and so forth. And this compounding, people have to realize that the skin is the body's largest organ. I talk about that quite often. And much of what our bodies absorb comes in through our skin.
Exactly.
So right off the bat, starting with something as simple as soap, which everybody uses. And I must say, I've used your soap. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
You're starting with something as simple as soap. I mean, I think it was the right jumping off point, truthfully.
I feel like I started soap at the right time too, don't you think?
Right. Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, with the health system in chaos and with everybody, thinking about their health as top of mind, it probably was, the right time.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yes.
So that led, now, once you mastered soap, have you expanded?
I have. So yeah, I started with soap. Soap was the major thing I did for about a year. I also have sunscreen butter, which is a new product that I did this year. It is, I'd say, about 90% organic. And I can just list off the ingredients that I have in the sunscreen butter. So it is hard. It's not like a cream. It's not a liquid. It's a hard butter that once you rub it into your skin, it'll warm up and then it's easy to spread. I have certified organic pure beeswax, cold pressed virgin olive oil, which I import directly from Italy.
Nice.
Organic virgin coconut oil, organic cocoa butter, non-nano zinc oxide. We'll get there in a second. Organic peppermint and frankincense essential oils. So frankincense oil is my favorite essential oil to use on the skin. Like I can't rave enough about it. The benefits are incredible. The non-nano zinc oxide. It sounds scary. It's not. It basically creates a protective layer that sits on the top of your skin, does not seep in, does not get into your bloodstream, doesn't allow anything to get into your bloodstream. It's basically like a waterproof barrier.
Right.
And that's the SPF. That's what protects your skin from any harmful anything
coming in. Yeah.
Anything coming in.
I was going to say, when you non-nano, so when somebody thinks about a nanoparticle, it's an extremely micro, small particulate matter that is small enough to enter the body through the pores of the skin. So anything that is non-nano, means that it's large enough that it won't come in through the skin, through the pores of the skin. So definitely a safe option, very safe. That's pretty cool. So you expanded into
so
that.
I have that. I have after sun cooling body spray. That include the key ingredient in there is aloe gel.
Right.
Aloe vera gel. I have essential oil rollers, and I tested a couple of them on myself. I have 4 different essential oil rollers. I have one for headache, one for cough, one for sleepy time, and one for anti-stress. And I used only the headache one on myself, and I gave the others to some family members. My mother suffers from migraines. I'd say probably once every 3 months, she's bedridden for a full day with a migraine. And then in between, we get I'm pretty sure everyone gets just the regular headache. She cannot go without my headache roller because her headaches start from the back of her neck, the stiffness in the back of her neck, and then it moves to the front of the head. And because it's a roller, I use it too. I use it like a massage, like literally like a mini massage. I give myself a mini massage on the back of my neck. The key ingredient in there is peppermint.
Right.
Peppermint, basically, it relieves the tension. It opens up not only your nasal passage, but it relieves everything. And everyone that I've sold it to raves about it. They have sent me comments and reposts and DMs just thanking me because they always suffer from headaches and they can't get enough of it.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
that is pretty awesome. I'm a big Christmas fanatic, so the
Yes.
smell of peppermint to me is marvelous.
Yeah.
It smells like candy canes all the time, so
Yeah.
I love it. And just to touch on frankincense, you had mentioned in your sun protection, right?
Yes.
I find that fascinating because though many of our listeners may not know this, but frankincense contains an ingredient known as boswellia. And boswellia is very powerful anti-inflammatory.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about putting something on the skin, I mean, that could be a topical skin care option for people with any kind of skin inflammation.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of calming down and just whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a sunburn, whether it's a rash, whether it's, who knows? But
Yep.
I think that's pretty awesome that you chose frankincense as one of your main ingredients. So creating and preparing these products for mass consumer consumption. I mean, I know that you started small and you have grown and you continue to grow. There's got to be a lot of work in terms of formulating, creating, coming up with product, preparing enough product to sell. It must be time consuming.
It's very time consuming. It's very time consuming. I have my mother, actually, as soon as I started this business, my mother was just freshly retired. So I said, come on over. I found you a new job.
Time to start employing all the family.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, I mean, that's very
she's
Italian.
a big help. She's a big help. She's a big help. I mean, I'm the only person who actually physically makes the products, but there's a lot of packaging involved. I do a lot of gift sets. It's like the perfect, yeah, exactly, right?
There's the creative side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's essentially it's giving the gift of health, right? They're giving somebody a healthy option for their skin. I think that's pretty awesome. But I mean, you just said it. It's extremely time consuming. It's a lot of work, and it's great that you have the support of your family and certainly the support of your friends. But I mean, you are a wife, you are a mother to two beautiful twins. You have a big extended family with, I'm assuming, lots of family obligations. Staying healthy as a businesswoman, staying healthy must be top of mind for you.
It is.
So we touched on a little bit of what your morning routine looks like, but what else do you do to keep yourself healthy and full of the necessary energy to keep going on a day-to-day basis?
The easy answer, I go talk to Frank and Marilyn at the health experts at the Apple Market.
That's completely unsolicited right there, folks. Trust me.
It is.
That's amazing.
But really, that is the easiest answer, because I literally come to you and I'm like, Frank, I have this, and this. And what do you suggest? And you suggest something. So
would you say that it's finding the right support?
It is absolutely the right support. I'll tell you, okay, two little stories. During the last 3 years when, the world was flipped upside down, like it was rough.
Wow.
It was rough. I was at my worst at that moment. I was highly anxious. I was stressed out. Couldn't think properly. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. I had the support, right?
Right.
I had the support. I had the support to leave my job. I left my job not voluntarily. I left because of a policy that was put in place that I did not follow because of a personal medical choice. But at that time, my parents and my husband were on my side, and I left there. I had zero stress. You know what it feels like when you're at peace with zero
Confident.
stress?
Yeah.
Very confident. And so, yeah, definitely a good support system. Another little story, years and years ago, well, not years and years ago, but postpartum. So my girls were about a year old, I think, when I was dealing with postpartum. Nobody understood it. My husband didn't understand it. We were living with my parents at the time. So that was very difficult. I was not working. I was off for 2 years. It was rough. I mean, a new mom of twins, not only one child, but 2 children in the middle of a crazy Italian family, it wasn't easy. I'm not the only one, but I'm just saying a lot of women deal with it. It's not easy. And I was at the point where I went to my doctor and I asked for help from my doctor. And she didn't say anything at the time. She wrote a prescription for a very mild antidepressant. And I went to go get it filled. And from the pharmacy, I got in my car. I drove directly to the Apple Market, straight to Frank. I handed him the bag. I handed you the bag. And I told you, do you remember that day when I said, Frank, I need your help. I don't want to take these. I need your help. And, I think I even broke down crying. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do remember. I do remember it quite well, actually. And all we did was put together a package of the right vitamin and mineral nutrition, some key herbal supplements.
Yep.
We looked after gut health.
Yep.
We targeted some very specific things. And of course, from there, the success is, the person I'm speaking to today.
Yeah, exactly. It was four bottles. I left there with 4 bottles. You gave me 4 different things. And I'm not the type of person, you know me. I don't like taking pills. I'm not the type of person to like have a row of like 10 bottles in front of me and then just take like all these pills. I feel full after 2, or I feel nauseous too. I can't do it. But I said to myself, I was ready to help myself. So I forced myself to do it. I said, you have to do this for 60 days. I told myself, 2 months, you have to do this. And can I tell you, Frank, that after I did that for 2 months, the person that I came that morning, she has never returned. Good. It was like black and white.
Wow.
It was incredible. It was like, I'm so happy.
It speaks volumes to what optimal health really can look like when you have the right ingredients in place.
Right.
I mean, as far as good food goes, you were already eating very well. I mean, in terms of most of your food choices, I understand and know, coming from an Italian background myself, that it's a lot of fresh foods. We tend not to do a lot of processed food, so it's all home cooked foods. It's all quality ingredients as far as that goes. You had some missing pieces with respect to the supplements, and all we did was fine tune them to you, and of course the rest is history. But and then since then and through the years, you do other things, like now with your morning routine and the mindset principles and meditation and personal affirmations. It's pretty phenomenal. So I'm really happy to hear that, all of this that you're doing for your health today is really what's helping you to be the woman and the businesswoman and the healthpreneur that you are. It's spectacular. And at Health Experts Canada, we encourage our clients to create their very own personal affirmations or mantra that holds that special meaning for them, helps to keep them grounded, which helps them reach those levels of success on a daily basis. Because it's one thing to say them every once in a while, when things aren't going so well,
Right.
but it's another thing to maintain optimal levels of health success on a daily basis. And I truly believe that morning routine is key. It's a key principle to an awful lot of the success we look for. Do you have what's an original Laura quote or an affirmation that has meaning to you, and how do you apply it to your life, being a business owner, a wife, a mother, a daughter, a healthpreneur?
So like I said, every morning I begin with prayer. I also, as soon as I wake up, I look outside. I look up to God, source, universe. There's many names for it. And I just say, thank you for another beautiful day. Even on the cloudiest, rainiest, darkest days, I say, thank you for another beautiful day. Everyone's healthy. We're breathing. Why shouldn't it be a beautiful day? Right?
Exactly.
The sun's there. It's there. It's just covered by cloud, right? Another thing that I say to myself all the time is I am the highest version of myself right now. Right
That's
now.
awesome.
In the now, because in 24 hours from now, I will be the highest version of myself at that time.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I think that's very powerful and very meaningful. And when you say those types of things out loud, they can't be anything but true.
Right.
Right? I think that's amazing. I really do. Well, that's fantastic. Really briefly, I think the story of how you came up with the name for your company, Undine Beauty, that's an interesting one. So give us a quick synopsis of how you came up with the name.
It is an interesting one. The original name that I did have was, and it's in Italian, it was called Bella Pelle, which means beautiful skin. It was something that I thought of just, in the spur of the moment, just to kind of start myself going. But it never, I'm of Italian heritage, and it didn't roll off the tongue easy for me. So I could imagine others. So it never sat right with me until one day when I did by fluke, I was just on Instagram and I did a giveaway. There was an astrologer that I didn't know her personally, but I knew a couple of friends that we follow. And I did one of her giveaways, and she was doing a giveaway for a birth, a natal chart reading. So a birth chart reading. I won it. Now, when you hear an astrologer read your birth chart, if you know nothing about astrology, you will understand nothing. She spoke about me as if she's known me my whole life and all my past lives.
Wow.
Everything that she said, it was like confirmed. It was everything that she said it was incredible. I've always been, I guess, interested or fascinated with the elemental realms. So fairies, gnomes, mermaids, dragons, you name it. Things that you would see in a fantasy movie, I've always been fascinated with. And she looked at me and she said, "Do you like fairies?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Because I see an undine in you." And I was like, what the heck is an undine? I had no idea what an undine is. It was the first time that I've ever heard the word. So it's an elemental water goddess. They're very similar to mermaids, without a tail, but it's essentially a water goddess. And seeing that I'm a Cancerian, yeah. I am ruled by the moon. It was another one of those aha light bulbs. I was like, that's it. The minute I hung up the phone with her, the Zoom call, I said, Undine Beauty. That's it. Done. I was like, it just stuck. It stuck.
Clarity comes
Yeah,
when you least expect it.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It is a
Yeah.
fascinating story, and that's why I asked you to share it with us. So thank you for
Hmm.
that.
No problem.
The Stairway to Health podcast, this podcast, it's all about giving back and paying it forward. So we believe that as busy professional individuals, we all share in similar challenges when it comes to our personal states of health. And our belief and our constant phrase is that health equals wealth. Wealth as it pertains to the quality of life that we have. So you've given some phenomenal examples in sharing your life story with us here today about how when your health was at its worst,
Hmm.
your life wealth in terms of your relationships, your family, your financial states and so forth was at its lowest. But of course, when your health was at its best and operating now at a level of optimal health, the wealth that you have as part of your life is pretty extraordinary in all aspects. What situation sparked your desire? I think I know the answer to this, and we may have touched on it already, but the situation that sparked your desire to improve your quality of life by starting Undine Beauty Company. What was the moment that sparked you to gave you the desire, right, to change that quality of life for yourself?
There was a day where I was watching the news and I was seeing, breaking headline news, this, that, of like all these terrible, terrible things that were going on in the world. And I said, no, no, this is what's with the fear? What is with all this fear? And then again, that's where, my rabbit hole started. And I was looking at ingredients on boxes and products and this and that. And I looked at my kids. I'm like, my kids have to be raised in a world like this. It's not going to happen. I put my foot down. I go, this is not going to happen. So I think that it's time to take our lives into our own hands and do something about it. And that was my thing. It was, I guess, essentially it was my kids. It was my
I
kids.
think I think that's a pretty awesome inspirational starting point for sure.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
look at the generations that are to come, one of the most important lessons that we try to teach as healthcare professionals is that it's our responsibility, that preventative health is our responsibility. We
Yeah.
don't want to wait until it's too late. We don't want to wait until something tragic befalls us or one of our family members. We're out there trying to do our best to try and educate the masses, right?
Yeah.
So
I stick to intuition. I follow my gut to a T, 110%.
I think many people out there are still clouded by this veil or this notion that so much of what is available to us, so much of the foods we eat, so much of the drugs we take, and so on and so forth, that there are people out there with our best interest in mind. And the reality is, we talk a lot about having to take personal responsibility for our own health, which is, I think, what you were doing. But well, the truth is, I think a lot of people need to get to a point where they are able to listen to their own body,
Right.
right? And understand that by listening to your body does tell you more often than not what it needs, what it requires.
Exactly. And that's what symptoms are.
Right,
When you
exactly.
get symptoms, right?
That's
It's the
exactly
body
it.
talking to you. It's exactly like the metaphor. It's your car light, your engine light going off, or any lights in your car going off. Doesn't mean that, your car is dead.
Scrap
It
the
just
car.
means,
Yeah.
exactly, it just means you need to fix something. There's something that needs fixing.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I mean, it seems like you've learned an awful lot about yourself and about the world of health and about the world at large, about taking that level of personal responsibility. And that's pretty awesome. I can say firsthand, as I said, having used some of your products, that a lot of your passion and a lot of, the love and care that you have for people comes through in the products that you do create. So I commend you on that. And
Thank you.
ultimately, as busy entrepreneurs, especially inside of the health and wellness, holistic healing, healthy lifestyle industries, we're constantly trying to get our message out to the masses. So tell us, Laura, where can people contact you or find you for your services?
So my main source of contact would be Instagram, and that is my tag is Undine_Beauty. I also can be reached by email at undine_beauty@hotmail.com.
Perfect. That's pretty awesome. Well, listen, this has been an incredibly enlightening and incredibly inspirational story. I thank you very kindly for all of the wonderful words that you had to say, and thanks for sharing so much with our listeners. Thank you so much. I've truly enjoyed speaking with you today, and thank you for giving back today. Thank you for giving back to our listeners and giving back to the world at large. Thank you for doing what you do.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity, Frank.
Awesome. That's all the time we have for today, folks. I'm Frank Pirri, and on behalf of myself and Marilyn Mitchell, until next time, remember, health equals wealth.
So that's all the time we have today, but there's still so much more to talk about and learn. Head over to healthexpertscanada.com for more ideas on healthy living, and don't forget to like, download, and share this podcast with your friends, just for the health of it.